Hello, 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 and welcome again to Mental Health by Annastasia on Radio 254. Welcome, guys. How you guys doing? Today I'm feeling much, much better. I know last week I had a cold. I was sounding a bit and there was so much tension last week during my show. I was just angry. But today I think I'm feeling a bit better. I hope you guys are doing well. My week has started well, except for the fact that KPLC decided in the middle of the night that I wasn't going to have electricity, and so generators around my area were all on, and that was an interesting way to sleep. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys are okay. The weekend was good. I know right now fuel prices are at like 134 bob, or they're getting there per liter, so life's about to get hard. And then this heat, I don't know where this heat came from, by the way, but anyway, it's all right. We move. How are you guys doing? Welcome again to Mental Health by Annastasia on Radio 254. For those who like joining my live, remember it's mental health _ by anastasia.ke. And today we are talking about Self-Harm Awareness Month. Did you know that March is Self-Harm Awareness Month? If you don't know, now you know.
Draining life from my arm, and there you are, saying I need to be subtle. Why you right beside me, living full throttle? Who do you think you are? Saying, maisha ni yangu, shida ni zangu, wenza ni wangu, raha ni zangu. But all I really wanna know is can I get a little sympathy? Mwili ni wangu, chungu ni wangu, kifo ni changu, yote ni yangu. But all I really wanna know is can I get a little empathy? Yeah, I'm sky high, I'm cruising on my own supply, but you don't have to act like I'm the only one. This isn't easy, son. I know you wanna step aside, but take a minute to see that it's just as high as the next one. Maisha ni yetu, shida ni zetu, wenza ni wetu, raha ni zetu. But all you really wanna know is can you get a little sympathy? Mili ni yetu, chungu ni wetu, kifo ni chetu, yote ni yetu. But all we really wanna know is can we get a little empathy? When the time comes, we will all drop off like flies and buzz around the atmosphere until someone opens up the skies and lets us into heaven. Maisha ni yetu. Mwili ni wangu, chungu ni wangu, kifo ni changu, yote ni yangu. But all I really wanna know is can I get a little empathy? Don't look at me, you look like the devil. Extend the way you're making me feel. Don't come near me, you make me feel evil. When you're around, my mind begins to reel. And don't try to call me or pretend to be civil. Be gone before my innards kill. I just hate the way you are, and I want to be as far away as I can from you. I just hate to see your face, and I can't wait to erase every memory of you. I hate you. Every time you come around, you got a suit-stained halo, pretending to be all sweet and mellow. But come on, don't try to be cute. I know all the evil things you do. I just hate the way you
That was the hate song by Rish. Guys, don't you miss like the rock scene in Kenya, the Kenyan rock scene? Oh my goodness me. That was so lit. Actually, I have a bone to pick with Monster. What happened to Battle of the Bands? Bro, that thing was so cool. Like there was like a whole skate park and like you would overdrink Monster and you'd be on this permanent caffeine rush and then you'd be listening to music from like 11 a.m. to like 7 p.m. nonstop because of the caffeine. Like guys, what happened to that? I really miss, because I feel like the rock scene in Kenya was it was just so beautiful. But anyway, that was the hit song by Rish. If you want the rock scene back, please guys, let's like sign a petition or something. Anyway, let's get back to business. Today I wanted to talk about Self-Harm Awareness Month, right? And I don't know if many people knew this, but yeah, it's self-help, it's help safe. Guy, we tried. It's 11:13. Okay, it's been 13 minutes into the show, guys. I'm setting records. Last time it was 25 minutes. Now it's 13 minutes. Maybe next time it'll 5 minutes into the show. We don't know. But anyway, we should be making bets on this. Anyway, it's Self-Harm Stroke Injury Awareness Month. And what we're going to be talking about today is what happens when people feel like self-harming. What is it? Is it a symptom of a certain disease? Is it a symptom of struggling? How can we help people understand that self-harm is just a symptom of something? And it's not necessarily this notion or this myth that we think is, selfishness and just a phase. Yeah, it's just a phase and everybody is, at some point somebody will get over it. Anyway, let's start by the definition of self-harm. Now, self-harm, according to many resources, and I will not be citing them right now because they're off the top of my head and I really don't, half of these names were hard to remember. Just please forgive me. Yeah? Anyway, self-harm is the act of sort of giving yourself injury. And most of the times it's used as a coping mechanism for those people who are suffering through something at the time being, right? And most of the times once they're done suffering through whatever they're suffering through, then after that the self-harm stops. Most of the time self-harm starts in adolescence. Most people who self-harm are adolescents between the ages of 12 and 17. But 5 to 10% of adults actually still continue self-harm up until later in their adult life. However, most of the times, this is the first signs of self-harm happen in adolescence, which is interesting because the first signs of mental illnesses happen in adolescents around 14 years old. So maybe there's a correlation here, maybe not. I still haven't done the research on that, but there should be a correlation on that because at that point is when now your emotional intelligence is starting to form. That part of your brain that is processing emotion is when it's starting to develop. It's now then just starting to develop. And sometimes you're not aware of how to deal with the emotions and the struggles of being an adolescent. You're more clumsy because the hand-eye coordination type of part of your brain is still developing. There's so much developing at that point. There's so much going on. You're under pressure to conform or break into your own identity. You're not sure what your own identity even looks like. If you're in an environment that doesn't even allow you to figure out your own identity, you're in this state of permanent cognitive dissonance. Hey, new word of the day. If you don't know, now you know. Anyway, so that's what self-harm is. Now, why do people self-harm? Now, in therapy, we consider it as a sign of struggling. As you've seen in the title on my poster, it's Self-Harm Awareness Month, Symptoms of Struggling. That's what I want to be talking about this month. And in April, it's just symptoms of struggling so that we understand that some of these things have nothing to do with a phase or nothing to do with somebody's inability to deal with life. Sometimes it's just coping mechanisms. It's just we're trying to cope with whatever hardships we're going through. And sometimes some of these things are the best ways for them to cope. Most people describe the reasons why they self-harm as they're trying to find a physical source of pain, because sometimes having just an internal source of pain that's not visible, that cannot be described or seen, sometimes is too much, and therefore people self-harm. I'm not going to describe to you the different ways of self-harming because I'm trying to keep it very, very, very PG. A. B. I'm not trying to give people ideas. And C. It's a safe space here, right? Yes, we're going to talk about it openly, but I'm not about to put people's lives in danger in the name of giving out information. If you want to know, if you want to see the signs of people, if you want to know if people are self-harming, then you can go on ahead and research on yourself, but on the radio show, I ain't going to talk about it. Now, in the next part of the show, I want us to talk about why the self-harm how can we help somebody who you think are self-harming? And after that, I'm going to talk about how have people around the world actually helped these people in the most beautiful, amazing, the sweetest, like, guys, I can't believe I've been reading these stories and wow. I swear human beings were amazing. Next is Remember Me by We're Still on Rish Vibes.
The curtains are drawn, there's nobody home. Your letters have shown that you're not alone, that you're not alone. I want to be free whenever I see you're with her, not me. But I'll never be, but I'll never be. Hallelujah, it's nice to know ya. You took the stars from off my feet, said you'll return them when we meet. Don't see that happening, I don't see that happening.
take my heart, my body, my money, my everything. Ajab Jumba, oh Ajab Jumba, oh please don't. Ajab Jumba.
Sijaonekana aha, chukua dakika kama tano uite mazima moto tumeshikanare. Wakichelewa watapata tuni moshi imebaki juu, maji haitoshi kuzima hii beat so smooth, oh so nice. Play it twice, 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 have a good time.
Are you ready to disco? You got to give me something and I'll give you something back. Are you ready to disco? You got to give me something and I'll give you something back.
Give me five, it's good to be alive. The sky, it seems so far away, but we know that we've been to the moon and back, and we're sure that nothing's gonna hold us back. Take it easy, say she can easy. Yeah, yet to me cheesy, watch and to easy. You make your points come up occupied. I need to keep my mind occupied.
Are you ready to disco? You got to give me something and I'll give you something back. Are you ready to disco? You got to give me something and I'll give you something back.
Chukua dakika kama tano uite mazima moto tumeshikanare. Wakichelewa watapata tuni moshi imebaki juu, maji haitoshi kuzima hii beat so smooth, oh so nice. Play it twice, 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 have a good time, have a good time.
Oh so nice. Play
And we are back. To those who are just joining in, it is Mental Health by Annastasia on Radio 254. That was who was it? Sorry. That was Chapchumba, 20 More Days and Huff and Puff by Just a Band. By the way, that's another I have also another bone to pick with them. There's a song they finish with a part of a song they finish with on Huff and Puff, like at the end. Tingisha kichwa kidogo, and it was supposed to be a song, and then these guys disappear. Like, talk about cliffhangers in a song. How do you give me a cliffhanger in a song? I'm very offended, by the way. But let's get back to the topic. It's self-harm Stroke Injury Awareness Month, and before this, we're talking about the definition of self-harm, what therapists look at it as. We usually look at it as a symptom of struggling. And now we're going to talk about, like, okay, what happens? You know, why do people feel the need of self-harm? And what have people actually genuinely said? Not from the medical perspective, you know, the DSM-5 that I'm always referring to. What is the real reason? You know, what are people saying is the reason why they self-harm? And how can we help them? How can we support them and tell them, like, hey, you know, you're not alone, right? And that's another thing about this entire mental health journey issue. People genuinely believe they're alone. People genuinely believe that they're suffering by themselves, and therefore it's kind of good to have that support structure, that's a constant support system, and people constantly telling you, like, hey, if you need a shoulder to cry on or lean on, you know, I'm here. And this doesn't just happen to you. There are a lot of people going through this, a lot of people going through similar situations. You're not weird, you're not odd, and you're not overreacting to a certain situation. Things are tough, and you just wanted to cope. And as I said earlier in the show, most of the time, self-harm is used as a coping mechanism to deal with a certain issue in the time being, in the meantime. Now, the only reason why in adolescence it like takes forever for it to stop is because the issue at hand is emotional processing. At that time, you know, you're a young kid. Genuinely, emotional intelligence is just a figment of your imagination, because your brain doesn't even know what that is. Half of the emotions that you have, you don't even know yourself what they genuinely are, why they're there, what you should do with them. And then you're in a society where you're told to compartmentalize your emotions. So there's bad emotions and good emotions, and you genuinely still don't understand why you're being told to compartmentalize like that. So there's a lot going on. So in adolescence, yes, the duration of self-harm is way longer because the crisis at that point lasts a bit longer than in adults. In adults, it's usually just a crisis that happens to be like a month old or 2 months old, and then it stops, and that's when the adult stops self-harming. Now, how can we support these people? First off, listen to what they're saying. Half of the time, we have this tendency to try and help people how we think they deserve to be helped instead of asking them what kind of help they need. And I always preach this. Ask people first. What kind of help do they need? And if they don't know, figure it out with them. Don't try and assume that the help that they need is, you know, what you think they need and not exactly what they need, because at some point you'll end up causing more harm than good. And that doesn't help anybody, now does it? So one thing is just trying to figure out what they need as help. Number two is just supporting them. Usually it's a crisis they're going through, and all they need is a form of expression, right? Is to just get that internal pain outside. And at the moment they feel like self-harm is a good way to have that internal become a physical. But there are other ways. You can talk to a therapist. You can confide in a friend. You can talk to a parent. You can... Art therapy works. Actually, I know art therapy works very well. And that's something that I usually try my best to advertise. I know there are a lot of art therapists around Nairobi nowadays. So if you want that plug, you know, you can DM me on mentalhealth_by Annastasia.ke, and I will hook you up as usual. What other things can you do? You can play music. Music actually really helps to sort of externalize what's happening in your inside. Sometimes journaling works. And by the way, guys, as I keep saying, journaling doesn't have to be you writing. You can record your voice. You can do art journaling. So art journaling is where you draw like, it's like a comic book. You draw stick figures. If you're good at, if you're not good at drawing like me, and don't come for me in my life, by the way, for those people who know me personally. But if you don't know how to draw like me, you can just draw stick figures. It helps. By the way, anything helps as long as it works for you. Kwani this journey is for other people, it's for you. But as long as it works for you. But it's ensuring and teaching people that there are different ways of expressing themselves. Another thing is, don't be a Kenyan about it. And you know what I mean. Please just don't be a Kenyan about it. You know, these comments of kwani huyu amerukwa na akili ameanza kujiumiza. And I hate that cause of that phase. I hear it a lot. And please just don't be a Kenyan about it. Just learn empathy. Just put yourself in somebody else's shoes for a bit. And if I hear you say, but me, I wouldn't even try, then you haven't put yourself inside their shoes. If you keep telling me, oh, but yeah, I understand, but I wouldn't do that, then you haven't fully put on their shoes, right? And even if you wouldn't, you don't know yourself in every situation, by the way. You really don't. You don't know how you'd act in every situation. You've never seen yourself in every situation, because guess what? You know yourself in every situation you've gone through up to now. There are other situations you've never been in. There are different versions of the situation you've been in that could have happened to you. So don't act all high and mighty as if this cannot happen to you because of your self-view. Maybe it can't, yes, true, but it's not your right to judge other people because they do so. Also, give people a non-judgmental space, allow them to talk about it, allow them to explain themselves, allow them to feel, allow them to express, That's all they need. That's all people need all the time. Now, I also wanted to tell you guys about my favorite part of this. So I was reading about like how different people have been helping others who self-harm. And there's this tattoo parlor in, I think, was it LA or something? Of course, it wasn't Kenya. But yeah, there's this tattoo parlor in LA that gives discounted or free tattoos if they're cover-ups of the scars. So if you're doing a scar cover-up, they do, I think it was like 50% discount. And you know how tattoos are so expensive. It says tattooed person here. But you know how tattoos are so expensive. And so this tattoo parlor gives like, I think it was 50% off to completely free. Like you come, if you're doing a cover-up, whatever design, however big, they will do it for free. Like that just, oh my gosh, it just makes me so happy. And then on Facebook, I know my generation and Facebook, we've completely abandoned it, but try. I'm just asking you to try, because that's where the support groups are actually. All these mental health support groups, all these groups where you can do group sessions and supervision with other people and tell your story, they're all on Facebook. So if you're feeling like you need that support, Facebook is your place. And there are these Facebook groups where they hold Zoom meetings, and I think it was Google Meet meetings and stuff like that, and they go on Twitch and they have sessions where they just express themselves and talk about what's happening in their lives. Some even meet for coffee. I know there's a therapist on Instagram that I follow, and I have forgotten her name. I will remember during the break, but she does these meetups where you can go. I think you guys go for like coffee or lunch or something, where you guys just come. It's a mental health thing, but it's for women mainly. I think we'll need to start like a mixed kind of one where you're going for, it's like a group therapy session where all of you guys meet up for lunch, you eat, you talk. She's a therapist, so there's control. There's a control of the group controlled by a therapist, but you come, you talk, and she hosts it, I think, every week. I think it's weekly, actually. Yeah, and you guys meet up and you talk and you have cocktails and you meet up with other people going through the same thing. And I think that's beautiful because it allows people to understand that there's a community who wants to help you genuinely, who wants to understand what's going on. There's a lot happening. So that's a good way to help these people. Another way people are helping is by... so you know the color, okay, I don't think you know, but the color that for supporting, you know how I think suicide awareness is green, self-harm awareness is orange. So the orange ribbon is for self-harm awareness month. So if you want, you can be wearing the orange ribbon to say you support people who, people, guys, okay, for you in the life, yes, I know I can draw, but I don't draw like Picasso. Okay, so I can draw but not draw. Are you happy now? Anyway, so you can wear the orange ribbon on wherever. Those orange ribbon pins are really cute to show your support for anybody who is suffering from this symptom, and they can maybe confide in you, open up your your social media pages and say this is a safe space, the same way we do the safe space for suicide awareness. I like that post, the post that allows you to share on your stories that this is a safe space, you can come and talk to me. It's the same thing with self-harm. Another thing is just letting people know, just educating people that it's actually just a symptom. It is a symptom of struggling. It is not a phase. It is not somebody who is trying to get attention, because 99% of the time these people hide their scars. So they go for tattoo cover-ups, come on. So it's not seeking attention. So no, it is not that. It's also about just squashing all those myths, all those terrible ideologies about this symptom. I know we have a lot of myths about symptoms of struggling, and that is what my main agenda for the next 2 months is going to be, is just squashing those myths. But yeah, it's not somebody trying to seek attention. It's not somebody who's being too much. It's not somebody who cannot handle life. That phrase. Anyway, it's not somebody who cannot handle life. It's just somebody coping differently from the conventional way of coping. If you can understand what they're trying to cope with, maybe you can help them deal with whatever they're going through. Anyway, next song we're having is Maisha, About the Money. 20 more days as usual. Guys, I hope you're enjoying the show.
Naona saa imefika, wakati wa kubadilika, wahisi njaa, fedha huna, mawazo nayo, ndio wajua. Maisha ya siku hizi yamebadilika, sielewi yamekuwa all about the money, money, money. Pesa, the money, money, money. Pesa. Ukiwa na thao utoshi mboga, ni kama mbao, tuko sawa. Ukitaka life, maisha noma, survival hapa ni ujanja, kuwa mjanja. Maisha ya siku hizi yamebadilika, sielewi yamekuwa all about the money, money, money. Pesa, the money, money, money. Pesa, yeah. Maisha ya siku hizi yamebadilika, msielewi yamekuwa all about the money, money, money. Pesa, the money, money, money. Pesa, the money, money, money. Pesa, City of every tribe where your people ride. Indeed, people strive just to stay alive. Blood for blood that's been shed, blood from heroes never met, blood for freedom that we were supposed to get.
gonna turn into an outcast. Oh, neighbors during day turn into enemies at night. Fire, cry, move on, they freaking mean the same thing. Nitamka tena, sitakubali kujishame. Iwe ati hakuna change. Nitamka tena, sitakubali kujifame. Siwe, mimi ndio nitachange. Nitamka tena. Nitamka tena, sitakubali kujishame. Iwe ati hakuna change. Nitamka tena, sitakubali kujifame. Siwe, mimi ndio nitachange. Nitamka tena. Nitamka tena, sitakubali kujishame. Iwe ati hakuna change. Nitamka tena, sitakubali kujifame. Siwe, mimi ndio nitachange. Nitamka tena. Nitamka tena, sitakubali kujishame. Iwe ati hakuna change. Nitamka tena, sitakubali kujifame. Siwe, mimi ndio nitachange. Nitamka tena.
Yeah. Ha. It is 12 minutes to the top of the hour, and I said it. I will always say it in every show. I told you guys. It is 12 minutes to the top of the hour. Yes, but welcome back to the show. Again, it's Mental Health by Annastasia on Radio 254. So, as the show comes to an end, what do I want y'all to do? Do. This is the second time, 11:49. So it was 11:15 and 11:49. Guys, I think I'm breaking my own personal records. Like, what in shrubbing? Yo. But anyway, we should do like, how many times did she shrub in a show? Kind of questionnaire type of thing. But anyway, back to the show. As I said, it's Self-Harm Awareness Month. And what are we going to do for the people we love, those that may be suffering from this behavior? If you suspect a loved one is self-harming, you need to talk to them as calmly as possible. Acting shocked or angry will just make them withdraw. It won't allow them that safe space that they need to come and outrightly tell you what's happening in their lives. So talk to them as calmly as possible. Be calm, however shocking it is, however, scary it may look. Be as calm as possible. Be composed. Keep your composure. Okay, be non-judgmental and just be supportive. Again, you have no right to judge. Like, nobody on this earth has the right to judge. Just people go through life differently. Everybody has a different reality, and just because it's different from yours doesn't make it wrong. Okay. And then be available to discuss the problem or the problems that are causing the emotional pain that leads to self-injury when they are ready. When they are ready to talk about it, not when you are ready to talk about it. Okay. You have to give them the space to have the confidence and, the vulnerability to come to you and just tell you what's happening. And most of the times there's self-harm is brought about by emotional pain. They're struggling emotionally, and as I said, they're just trying to have a physical source of the pain rather than the internal, because at least the physical is seen, you can describe it, you can understand it. Unlike the emotional pain, when you haven't been taught how to really deal with your emotions and what you're going through, you cannot deal with what is happening. And then explain that there are treatments available, and give them resources. As I always say in every show, if you go to mentalhealth_by Annastasia.ke, on my highlights there's a place written Kenya MH pages. Every person there, just go to their DMs, you can talk to them for free. Some will give you contacts of therapists, some are therapists themselves, some are actually affordable therapists. Actually, I think all of mine are affordable therapists. On my highlights, yeah, all of them are affordable therapists actually. So yeah, go talk to them, DM them, let them know you have a confidentiality sort of safe space, so it'll be confidential. They won't go on talking about you. You have that. You can be confident in that. And then if the person's behavior worsens and you believe they're contemplating suicide, seek emergency medical attention. Now, seeking emergency medical attention is like looking for a psychiatrist. Talking to what are they called? These helplines, these suicide helplines for Kenya. There's Nisikize and there's Befrienders Kenya. Those are the only two I know so far. If you would like the information, again, just go to my page. On my highlights, it is right there. You can get the numbers from there. Make sure you save them and share the information around. It just helps if you suspect it's suicide. But first, just try talking to them. Create that space for them. It's very easy to create that space. Sometimes it just requires you to just sit down in the same room with them. It's not that hard, guys. But try not to be judgmental, because I know that's the first thing you'll always do. The moment we tend to see something that's different from what we are used to, the first action we tend to do is just judge somebody. But again, as I said, just because their reality is different from yours doesn't make it wrong. Okay, so whatever they're going through, however minuscule it may sound in your ears, it is something big to them, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be hurting them so much. Anyway, guys, as I end the show, I hope you guys are enjoying the rest of your day. Drink plenty of water. Eat joto. My goodness me, we don't need y'all fainting in this economy, because we need to work hard and get that money, because it is not there. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys will be okay. If you need anything, or if you'd like to talk to me, or you'd like to what is it called? You'd like to suggest people to come onto my show, like as guests, please let me know in my DMs on mentalhealth_by_Annastasia.ke. My contact information is there too. You can personally WhatsApp me or email me. It's okay. But yet again, I'd like to thank you for joining my show, and I will see y'all next week. Next is Nyayo House by Crystal Axis.
Take my life and still
children, it's a rap. Sitting comfy right there on a fat man's lap. Feed me crumbs so I'm numb to that stack bag. While you lay on the ground and move big cross town. Can't paint, you can't escape that same old sound.